Fellas, Blue Archive's 5.5 anniversary is nearly upon us, or at least it's supposed to be, cause at the time of writing, we still have no idea when it is, where it's taking place, or even its name. Ha, psych! Blue Archive JP's Twitter account finally announced on Monday that the 5.5 anniversary celebration livestream, This is the Real Go, will be taking place on July 26, with in-game news content starting at 7 PM GST, lasting for around 3.5 hours. Whoa, Kizaki armpits, whoa! So in today's video, I'm filling up our copium tanks, as I'll be going over my main predictions for the 5.5 anniversary units and my reasons for choosing them. Plus, I'll also be quickly discussing about some of the other situations that could happen during this coming anniversary. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Alright, starting with my main prediction for Blue Archive JP's 5.5 Fest units. By that I mean the actual Fest units, i.e. like your Armed Aris, Kei, Shiroko Terra, Swimsuit Mika, etc. I predict that it will be none other than Yukino and Akira. Now, I know my picks seem weird, especially the combination of Yukino and Akira, but stay with me, I'll explain. Firstly, for the former, part of my reasons for choosing her as one of the 5.5 Fest students is due to the fact that the rest of Fox Platoon, aka Kurumitan my love, Otogi and Nico have already become playable pretty recently, around 3 months ago or so at the tail end of April, with Yukino being the only odd one out, which is why I personally feel like they have to introduce her pretty soon, so that she can reunite with the rest of her squad mates. And the momentum slash hype for the final remaining member is still somewhat fresh, especially since a lot of senseis are anticipating and hopeful for her to be announced during the 5.5 anniversary. Thus, hopefully the devs will want to take advantage of this. Next, with the ongoing main stories, aka Volume 0 General Student Council and Volume EX2 Law Pursuit, Yukino has once again become relevant as she plays a vital role in the latter volume. I won't spoil much, but essentially, Fox Platoon are no longer detained in the Corrections Bureau and are currently under Charlie's and Sensei's temporary command, conducting an investigation on a bunch of rumors called lore. As you may know, Yukino's and the rest of Fox Platoon's last prominent main story appearances was in Volume 4 Chapter 2 We Were Rabbits, and at the time, we all also expected Fox Platoon to become playable, though we were obviously wrong. They also technically appeared during the Swimsuit Rabbit side event as enemies in one of the challenge stages, having full-on chibi models and skills. Thus, following the previous patterns of Fest units being related to the main story, i.e. Shiroko Terra and Arm Hoshino during the 3.5 anniversary, who were important characters in Volume 1 Chapter 3, as well as Armed Aris and Kei, the Fest units for the 5th anniversary, with Volume EX being the focus at the time, I'm hoping that this time, for sure, Yukino will at long last be released from NPC jail, probably alongside the next part of Volume EX2, as it will build up even more hype and excitement for these announcements. Not only that, Blue Archive's Fest units are usually comprised of Kivotos' strongest or brightest students lore-wise. And remember that Yukino is the leader of Fox Platoon, canonically one of the strongest fire teams in Kivotos. While our 4 adorable foxes aren't individual powerhouses by any means, like Mika, Hoshino, Fat Shiroko, Neru, Hina, etc., with the devs even confirming that each member's combat effectiveness is significantly weaker when fighting alone, their biggest strength lies in their team chemistry, working as a unified, cohesive, and competent unit, allowing them to efficiently take down targets with their tactical proficiency and flawless coordination even without Sensei's command, to the point of even being able to defeat other stronger opponents. For example, Wakamo, who despite being an unstoppable force of calamity, was captured by Fox Platoon prior to our arrival in Kivotos. So, following the pattern of previous anniversaries where the Fest students are powerhouses slash geniuses, I feel it would make perfect sense for Yukino, Fox Platoon's leader, to be one of the Fest units, and I genuinely cannot see her as simply a rerun unit for when the Fox Platoon banners return. Finally, my last reasoning for predicting Yukino is the fact that she has been in the game for a pretty long time now, with her first appearance being in Volume 4 Chapter 1 Part 2 on 6 April 2022 in Blue Archive JP. Technically, even going as far back as January 2021, where Fox Platoon appeared in the official artwork of them capturing Wakamo, if you wanna count that. Which is why I feel surely she has to come out at some point. It's already been a long 4 to 5 years. She needs to speak at some freaking point, goddammit. Like, I get it. It's a shame we can't get Hayamin to voice another Yukino since she's already Nagisa's voice actor, but come on, Nexon. There are so many other talented JPVAs out there to choose from. Not just that, Yukino is also fairly popular. I'd argue that Nico is the most popular in Fox Platoon, but I feel Yukino is a close second. Hence, unless they want to further invoke the wrath of Yukino bros and Fox Platoon fans who have been waiting for her for years, I feel like they will release Yukino this year as soon as the 5.5 anniversary, especially since it is the perfect time to do so. Now for her kit, while I don't know exactly what it'll entail, I'm expecting her to be an explosive DPS unit, cause not only has it been more than 3 years since we've gotten a raid damage dealer fast student in the form of Dress Hina. I said fast so I'm not counting Rio, but also because the rest of Fox Platoon are explosive, so it makes sense to keep the whole squad consistent. However, what with the release of a number of new raid DPS units this year, I can also see Nexon making Yukino our first ever green corrosive attacker, kinda similar to Swimsu Hanako being our first ever purple unit, so she might get the same treatment and it'll make pulling her even more enticing. Now, moving on to my reasonings for predicting Akira. First and foremost, in my opinion, the devs can justify her as the fast unit by introducing her in the next part/chapter of the Volume EX2 main story, which I honestly have a gut feeling will happen during this upcoming 5.5 anniversary. Akira has been in the game as an NPC for quite some time now. Mind you, not as long as some other students such as Yukino, Kuzunoha, or Erika and Seiya who are both already playable, but her first appearance was in April 2023 during the Alabaster Calling Card event, with 3 years being a pretty damn long time now. So I feel like Akira will become playable soon, maybe even this year, and what better time to do so than during the 5.5 anniversary, by inserting her into the current main story, especially since she has never appeared in it. How would they do that? Don't ask me, I ain't no professional storyteller/narrative writer, I'm just theorizing. But seeing as she is one of the 7 prisoners, I can foresee the devs making her clash with Fox Platoon in the story, as the latter has had a history of dealing with one of them. Not to mention, Akira is also a fox like them, which will make for an even more fun encounter. Maybe she becomes their next target cause she knows something about the rumors they're investigating. In a way, they could do it kind of like Shiroko Terra during the 3.5 anniversary, where they released her as the fast unit whilst also making her appear in Volume 1 Chapter 3 Part 5. Moreover, the 7 prisoners fit into Kivotos' strongest and smartest students categories one way or another. Hence, in my opinion, it would make sense for the rest of them to become fast units just like Wakamo was during the first anniversary, as they are very strong, intelligent, and highly quote-unquote dangerous students. Plus, while Akira certainly ain't a heavy hitter like Wakamo or Akemi, she is smart, cunning, as well as being one of the most elusive students in Kivotos. So I feel with those, she at least deserves a spot on the fast students list. Let's also not forget that our cute Phantom Thief has been appearing more recently in event stories since disappearing after the Alabaster Calling Card event, with her resurfacing during the 2 Wild Hunt events. Massive spoilers ahead for these event stories, albeit not as Akira but her alias Miria, a member of Wild Hunt Academy's Dom Supervisory Unit, and she plays an important role in both events, especially in the second one. Not to mention, she was also shown in the 7 PV on a balcony alongside Professor NiyaNiya, even having a close-up shot. And knowing from previous PVs in recent years, those students who appear/have a prominent presence in the PV will either be releasing/getting a new ult very soon. Thus, with all these combined, I personally feel that Akira is being hinted as finally becoming playable this year, potentially during the 5.5 anniversary, though I can also see her being announced later in the year during a new Wild Hunt event and not Fest. But regardless, her release this year would definitely make the many Akira fans who have been coping for years extremely happy. Who knows, it might even lead to more 7 Prisoner and NiyaNiya stories/appearances. Feels like it's been building up over the years now, resulting in more 7 prisoners falling in love with us. Last but not least, quickly talking about my predictions of her skills a little. Again, I can't tell what it'll be specifically, but perhaps they could make her like Arm Toshino or Swimsuit Shun, where you can switch between her Akira and Miria forms at the start of battle, with each having their own skills. Or maybe even allow her to enter battle as Miria, then by using her EX, she switches to Akira. I don't know, they could do something unique with her Phantom Thief skills, and I'll be excited to see what they do with her whenever she releases. With the Fest students out of the way, it's time to discuss my guesses on who the other 5.5 anniversary units might be, aka the Welfare Student and the initial 2 limited 3-star banners before the actual Fest banners, i.e. the ones usually with the free 100 pulls. And I am predicting that it will at long last be Swimsuit Pandemonium Society alts. More specifically, I'm expecting Swimsuit Iroha and Swimsuit Ibuki to be the limited 3-star units, with Swimsuit Chiaki as the Welfare Student. Now, firstly, for my newer senseis, why swimsuits? Well, for one, it is currently summer in South Korea and Japan, which is why you often see a lot of gacha games release swimsuit also skins during this time of the year, and Blue Archive is no different. I mean, look at the previous trends of our 0.5 anniversary units. There are always swimsuit units. Swimsuit Yukino for 1.5 with swimsuit Hyakiyako, swimsuit Hanako, Koharu, Hinata, and Ui in 2.5, swimsuit Aries for 3.5, and more swimsuit Trinity in 4.5 last year. So it stands to reason that we'll be getting more swimsuit odds for 5.5, and I believe it'll be the Pandemonium Society girls receiving them. If that's not convincing enough, well, every single time before 8.5 anniversary, the new event prior to it has always been a summer event with permanent swimsuit units. From swimsuit Abydos with swimsuit Wakamo, swimsuit Rabbit Squad, Summer Valkyrie in the Seibing event, swimsuit Hyakka Ryoran to the swimsuit Shanghai Jing event in JP a month ago. Thus, new swimsuit odds are therefore on the menu this coming anniversary. Next, why Pandemonium Society? Well, even though I said the same thing in my 5th anniversary prediction video, and I am a filthy Gehenna supporter who's hoping for more Gehenna content, hear me out. To start, the last time we actually got a Gehenna anniversary student was during the 3rd anniversary with Dress Hina, Dress Ako, Makoto, and Ibuki, which was like freaking 2.5 years ago. Plus, not counting in any reruns, the last new Gehenna event slash alts that we got was Part-Time Jury and Casual Senna last February. So it's been a hot minute, and surely we're getting even more Gehenna units this year, what with Erika, Dress Haruka slash Mutsuki recently releasing. Not only that, it's baffling that the Pandemonium girls haven't gotten an alt yet, especially considering that they are one of the big and important factions in Kyuvotos, as they're essentially Gehenna Student Council. However, the biggest evidence of them potentially being part of the 5.5 anniversary is their appearances in the Sensei Chotto Ojikan Yoroshi Desu Ka 3D short series every Monday on Blue Archive JP's official YouTube channel. In the past year, those students who have featured in this weekly series have gotten an alt not long afterwards. For instance, the Tea Party Girls and Ninjutsu Club, with the Pandemonium girls appearing in the series since the start of the year, with theirs having ended not too long ago on June 29, being replaced by Neru. Iroha was the first to debut, then subsequently Ibuki, Chiaki, who is absolutely adorable by the way, Satsuki, and lastly Makoto. Plus theirs follows the same pattern as the Tea Party Girls, whose 3D models were introduced at the start of 2025, and the middle of the year, Tea Party Girls' final YouTube shot was literally on almost the exact same date last year. Then they got their alts during the 4.5 anniversary, meaning the Pandemonium girls will surely be involved in this coming anniversary. Oh, one last tiny thing, the Blue Archive JP Twitter account literally just announced our 3 Pandemonium girls plus Dress Ako and Swimsuit Kana banners reruns. So if this isn't a clear indication of the Pandemonium girls getting swimsuits for the 5.5 anniversary, then I don't know what is. Moving on, I like to quickly discuss my reasons for specifically choosing swimsuit Ibuki, Iroha, and Chiaki as the rest of the 5.5 anniversary units. For both Ibuki and Iroha, well, any Blue Archive fan will definitely love a Kani combo. But more importantly, these two are the most popular characters among the Pandemonium Society members, with the latter being in first in my opinion. She's also actually my second favorite among the 5 girls. And while these obviously don't tell the whole story, a bit of proof of their popularity are A, the amount of pixel artwork they currently have. As of June 2026, Iroha has 7,284 pixel artworks, while Ibuki has 7,176. Plus B, the present amount of Bond 100 Ibuki and Iroha havers in the JP server. They are 35 and 51 respectively, which is much higher in comparison to Makoto's 11, Chiaki's 19, and Satsuki's 4. Thus, I feel like Nexon will make them the limited 3 stars this time, knowing they'll probably sell pretty well. And I'm sure there are a whole bunch of senseis who are willing to will for them. I mean, why not? They are both our adorable, sexy, breedable Kani students. For my next reason, while pretty minuscule, could also potentially be a decisive hint at Iroha and Ibuki as the 3-star banners. It is the fact that they were the first 2 among their peers to show up in their May I Have a Moment of Your Time short series, with Iroha being the first to get her 3D model too. Not to mention, Iroha and Chiaki had the most appearances in this series at 10, with Ibuki coming in second with 9 appearances. Though I doubt Ibuki will be the welfare unit again, so I'm predicting her as the 3-star unit this time around. Plus they also both appeared in the New Year greetings video at the start of the year, so I feel that these are indications that both Iroha and Ibuki will be the limited 3-star students, though these could also just be a coincidence. Lastly, for swimsuit Chiaki, who I think will be the welfare student, admittedly there is a bit of bias here cause she is my favorite Pandemonium member and I want her to be playable. If she isn't, I'm jumping off a bridge, but I also feel she is quite popular. I still remember during her release, her popularity surged thanks to her being a silly goober plus an unexpectedly spicy L2D, so I feel like a lot of senseis would want her swimsuit version. Plus in my opinion, she is also a better fit compared to Makoto and Satsuki. Not because I dislike them, they're still my precious students and I love them, but because Makoto, despite being the group's leader and it makes sense for her to be playable, isn't generally well liked among the player base, especially in global. Unsure about JP and Korea though. She still has quite a number of fans, albeit there are a good amount of people who don't like her too. I can understand why, but it's still unfortunate. I would love to be wrong though, and hey, maybe the sentiment around Makoto has softened throughout the years. For Satsuki, as much as we all love her massive calcium cannons, as well as her attempts to hypnotize us and her moe girl failure side, I feel her being the welfare unit wouldn't hit as hard compared to Chiaki. But who knows, again I could be wrong, it's all just speculation at the end of the day, and I just want more playable Gehenna students man. I ain't fussy. As for their kit, no idea what it could be, but I reckon the three will have an end battle animation together, or maybe Ibuki and Iroha with their own unique one too, since they are very close, the latter acting as Ibuki's big sister. And it could be something wholesome just like Arusen's, plus the two could also possibly have a joint EX skill again just like their regular version. For this final segment, I like to just very briefly cover some of the other situations that I could see occurring during this anniversary, just in case my predictions turn out to be untrue, as I feel that these could be feasible as well. For one, I could see Nexon giving us a full-on summer Pandemonium anniversary, with all 5 girls being playable in their swimsuits. However, the problem with that is, who would be the last unit, as they only fill 5 of the 6 anniversary student slots. I initially thought that maybe an outside student like Yukino, Akira, or even Akemi could be it, but then how would they tie them into the event story, etc, etc. I know they did it with Seiya during the 4th Annie and it could happen again, but I'm very skeptical, which is why I feel another thing they might do for this 5.5 anniversary is give us a complete swimsuit Gehenna event like the 4.5 anniversary with swimsuit Tea Party x a bit of swimsuit JTF. This time though, it'll be a mix of swimsuit Pandemonium and swimsuit Perfect team, as both factions are closely related lore-wise. Plus it makes for a good setup for the event story. Granted, Hina and Iori do already have swimsuit alts, but Ako and Shinatsu don't, so giving these two summer alts makes more sense, and it'll mean all 4 members will have swimsuit alts. Next, I can also kinda envision one of my predictions of either Akira or Yukino to not be the first unit, but instead be replaced by Suo, the Shupugaki twin superior. Like maybe Yukino or Akira will be reserved for another limited event later this year. Not only did the railway event just rerun right before the anniversary, which could be a potential tease to her release, but she is also a good first unit candidate, considering she is pretty damn strong, going toe to toe against Hoshino, and we have her 3D models and animations too from Volume 1 Chapter 3, so perhaps after 2 years or so, it is time for her to finally resurface once again. The question still remains though, how would she tie into the current main story, and what connection would she have with Fox Platoon / The Rumors? But we'll see when the time comes. One last thing, for those of you hoping for Malkuth, I doubt we'll get her anytime soon. I feel like earliest would be next year, since the Volume EX Decagrammaton event just ended, and big spoilers ahead for Volume EX. The devs probably want to let her slowly wander around the world first and discover the reason to life, as per her sister's last wishes, and reintroducing her again so quickly would ruin the magic in my opinion. So just like Shiroko Terra back then, we probably won't see Malkuth this year, just let her do her own thing for now, and I'm sure she'll return in Avengers Doomsday, next year. And that's all for this video. Apologies if I didn't predict your favorite students like Kuzunoha or whoever they may be, plus these are just my own personal opinions, so don't take it too seriously if I didn't include your waifus. I still love all our students. Anyways, let me know your predictions on who will be the 5.5 anniversary units, like and sub if you enjoyed this video, god that was cringe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.